Hello, welcome to the Big Gardens Grow Your Own summer program. My name is Stephanie Finklia. Today's lesson is all about soil. In this lesson, we'll discuss the components of healthy soil. We'll discuss how to prepare your garden bed for planting, and we'll identify a couple ways that you can keep your soil healthy. To perform your simple soil type test, you're going to need a few materials. The three components that make up healthy soil are sand, silt, and clay. Sandy soil doesn't hold water very well, so there's great drainage, which is good for our plant roots because it doesn't help to cause root rot. However, it doesn't hold nutrients very well, things a plant needs to intake into its roots to make food for itself. Silt is a little bit finer in particle size than sand. Still has a bit of a gritty feel. It does a great job of holding enough water for the roots, but also allowing a bit of drainage. And it does a great job in holding nutrients. Clay soil has a much finer particle size. It feels like a powder. It does a wonderful job of holding water and keeping it there, which is not great for plant roots because it can cause root rot, and it makes it harder for those roots to spread. It does do a great job of holding nutrients. The best type of soil you can have for your garden will have all three of these components, about 40% sand, 40% silt, and 20% clay. The mixture of all three components of soil is called loam. Loam is the ideal type of soil for planting anything in your garden. It allows for the soil to hold nutrients that this plant can then absorb through its roots, but it also lets water drain enough so that the plant has time to absorb water through its roots, but the water doesn't stay in the soil to make the roots start to rot. Let's perform a simple test to find out what kind of soil is in your growing area. Now, when you take your soil sample from your garden space, you're going to make sure that you go down at least 6 inches deep. You want to make sure you go down 6 inches because our soil has layers. The top part of the soil is called our top layer. It's O horizon. So on the top layer, you'll find things like living bugs and plants, and decomposing materials like dead leaves, fallen tree branches. That's our humus portion of the soil. It's actively making compost naturally. The next layer is our topsoil, Horizon A. In Horizon A, it's composed of sand, silt, and clay, which is the layer that we want to assess. So make sure you're digging down to get through that top layer and really get a good and accurate reading of what your garden soil is composed of. So you'll simply take your soil from your growing area and fill your jar about halfway. Once you've done that, you're going to fill the jar almost full with water. But you want to leave a little room so that you can shake it in a few moments. Then you'll add your 1 tablespoon of liquid dish soap. Replace the cap and shake it vigorously. Once you've got everything shaken and blended, set it on a counter and wait for 24 hours. After 24 hours, your soil will start to separate in those different layers. After your soil has set for 24 hours or 48, if you have clay soil, you'll be able to see the separation of the three components of soil. So at the bottom, you'll notice a lot of grit, and that is your sandy soil. Right down there. The next layer, here, it's a little lighter, finer particles. That is your silt layer. Then the next, right up top, even finer particles and a little lighter in color than the other layer, is your clay. So we're doing fairly well here at the Big Garden. We've got about 40 to 50% sand, about 35 to 40% silt, and about 20% clay. Now let's go to McMillan Middle School for a demonstration by Chance, showing us how to get your garden beds prepared for growing season.
Hey everybody, my name is Chance. I'm here with the Big Garden and I'm an educator. We're here at McMillan's Garden Bed, and today we're going to go over how healthy soil habits and how to prep up a garden bed. As you see here, we have this bed that is not prepped up. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a pitchfork, we're going to break some of the soil down, we're going to even this soil out, we're going to get rid of any weeds in the soil, and then we're going to add some compost as well. Here is my pitchfork, and I'm going to come through here into this garden bed, and I'm going to place it in here lightly, not going deep, and I'm going to just slowly start to raise this soil up. Now what this pitchfork is going to do is going to help aerate the soil and allow the soil to receive air and oxygen, and it's going to loosen up this soil and get it ready for us to add different plants and seedlings into it in the near future. Light little kick in, turn it over, or you can even just lightly kick it in and lift it up. You could just lightly kick and lift it up. Lightly dip, lift it up. Lightly dip, lift it up. And you will just continue this process through the entire garden bed. All right, and as you can see, I'm finishing up. You can look down and see the bed is getting broke down, and I'm finishing up the last little bit of this bed right now. And we just light kick through, turn it over. Light kick through, turn it over. Light push down, turn it over. And as you see, we got our bed pretty much fully aerated with this here pitchfork. This next step that we're going to be doing is getting rid of any weeds or any large debris in the garden bed. So I don't see too many weeds in this bed, but as you look around, we can get rid of weeds like this. We'll get rid of this. We can come through and leave some of this right here. We can get rid of some of this if you want to be real meticulous, but we got a lot of that done with the broad fork. I'll get this out, and I'll get this out, and that's what you do. Next, what I'm going to do is use this rake, and I'm going to come through and kind of break the soil down a little bit, any soil clumps down, and just start to even it out, okay? And it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to come around and just try to even things out with this here rake, okay? And what I usually do is I just work my way around, kind of work through the whole bed. You just want to get it as even as you can, but it does not have to be perfect, you know? This soil is good. It's nice and soft. It's going to be ready to plant here. We're going to get some good produce out of this here. So once you kind of rake it around, get it nice and evened out, you'll be good to go for your final step of this process right here. Okay, so as you see, we got the bed pretty much raked up. For our last and final step, what we're going to do is add some compost, which is going to help to enrich this soil, and it's just going to overall give our soil a boost and a kick that it needs. So we're going to just rip this compost here open, and then of course, I'll come in, lay this compost down, and I'll probably do this first half with compost, and then I'll come in with my rake and then just slowly add the compost and even the compost out slowly but surely with my rake. And then this will be the last step on your bed prep. And like I said, once your bed is all the way prepped up, like so, if you see little weeds and such like this, you can go ahead and just get rid of these, throw them on out of the way. We pretty much got our bed set up. We used our pitchfork to break the soil down. We then got any large weeds out of the soil using our hands. We went and used our rake to even it out, threw compost on the top, evened it out more with the rake. I'll give you a call to action to go to any of your community gardens and do some bed prepping, or create some garden beds yourself and prep up those beds.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and learning with us about how to do a simple soil test to figure out what your garden soil is comprised of, to learn about layers of soil, to learn how to get your garden prepped for the growing season, and how to take care of your soil so it stays healthy. Get out there and do your own soil test. If you liked it, please let us know by clicking the like button, leaving a comment, and subscribing. Thanks and happy growing.